We open with a quaint village that is soon attacked. Now, I'm not defending these dog monster alien creatures, but I just want to point out that they didn't actually murder or rape anybody. They just took some blue prawns, so really, in the grand scheme of things, they're not that bad. Damn, this little cutie is testing your authority, Mandy. Put him in the corner for 15 minutes. It's the only way he'll learn his lesson. I am enjoying how Baby Yoda's character looks like is gonna be the comic relief in part. And so far the humor is actually working for me, which is nice, because normally all I do when humor and comedy is in a serious show is complain about how it doesn't work and how it pulls me out, but this is effective.
You stay right here. You stay. Don't move. You understand?
Mandy sacrifices his career and almost dies several times to save Baby Yoda, and then he just neglects him and he almost gets eaten by a giant angry space Garfield. What the fuck are you doing, man? Are you watching this kid? Mandy soon encounters Cara Dune and we get a well-edited, filmed and choreographed fight sequence. The actress who plays Cara has a background in the UFC, and you can absolutely pick up on that in her movements. She looks fluid and natural in this sequence. Holy shit, man, you're going for the flamethrower? Burning somebody to death is no minor act, eh? Maybe think it through before you melt the flesh of somebody's skull. You just knock her out or something. You don't need to turn her into Anakin. Mandy is approached by some farmers and eventually agrees to help them out. He then cuts Cara in on this deal because she has the rights to this planet, being that she arrived first. This is a nice little simple premise that's set up here with ease in the first 10 minutes or so.
So we're basically running off a band of raiders for lunch money?
They're quartering us in the middle of nowhere. Last I checked, that's a pretty square deal for somebody in your position.
Is this girl giving Baby Yoda a magic mushroom? Nice.
This is the way.
This is the way. What if somebody sees your face through this giant window in the middle of the day? Then you can no longer be a Mandalorian. This episode was a nice little Seven Samurais inspired story, as well as being a World War II movie in space with some spaghetti western elements and the archetypical hero's journey. Star Wars always had samurai movie elements. I mean, if you look at Darth Vader's helmet, especially the early Ralph McQuarrie designs, it looks much like samurai armors. And the original lightsaber battle between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan was Kendo, I believe. I believe it was based on, a Japanese samurai training martial art. So it's nice that Favreau's picked up on all these little elements of DNA that inspired George Lucas to create the original trilogy.
What?
I'm fine that this sexy widow is a crack shot. I don't have a problem with it. Not one of those guys who's like, no, women can't shoot. But anyway, you just need a throwaway line to explain it, just her to go, oh, I'm a crack shot because of this. My dad was a hunter and he taught me to hunt, or whatever. My mum used to take me shooting. Because it doesn't really add up that she's just an amazing shot and everyone else in the village has never seen a gun. Why? You need to tell us these things. Now you might say that this praise is unfounded because it's just simple, basic storytelling. But when the detonator is activated in this basic fight sequence, it just creates tension. This would have been a mediocre fist fight that nobody would have given a fuck about. But just because you have this ticking clock element in the room, counting down with the visual interpretation, easy to read, it just creates suspense. It's a nice little storytelling element to just kick up the tension in this moment. And talking about conveying substantial tension, the way the AT-ST was revealed was great. It was like a horror movie. It was shot from an upward angle, the cinematography was all dark and then had the red glowing eyes. The score even sounded John Carpenter inspired to me, and it all just had great motion and great suspense to it. We've seen these things fall over on logs and get crushed and defeated by the Ewoks, but here it was really treated with a serious nature. From its initial setup to Cara and Mandy dialoguing about it to its reveal and then the eventual battle, it all had stakes and it was all a substantial antagonist for them to defeat. As enjoyable as this end fight sequence was, and it was well filmed, it looked fine, it had pacing, it had suspense, but I just don't really agree with the tactics that Cara or Mandy used. I mean, yeah, lure the AT-ST out, sure, but then Mandy should have zoomed in with the Razor Crest and destroyed the AT-ST. I mean, he's got this ship just a few days away with these massive cannons on it. Instead, she runs in with a rifle to fight it single-handedly? I mean, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. You got this ship with these massive cannons sitting somewhere, probably getting destroyed by Jawas again, but you refuse to use it, and instead you run at it and shoot it with a rifle. Ex-rebel shock trooper, okay. Maybe you didn't leave, maybe you got fired. Instead of just running at it as well, you just could have thrown the detonator at its feet. Would have exploded and moved all that loose soil around its feet, and then it just would have fallen over. I mean, you don't need to lure it into actually walking into the pond. You can just, explode something at its feet. If the ground's not there, it'll surely fall over. There's a flaming AT-ST in one of these ponds! My grandfather seeded these ponds! It took generations!
My grandparents seeded these ponds.
It took generations.
I'm curious about what the tracking fobs actually track. Surely there's not a small microchip under Baby Yoda's skin or something, because that could just be easily removed. So then I guess it's actually physically tracking the flesh of him, like just his entire being, which is weird. I don't know how you could track that. You can't just track a dog. I mean, I guess they have Star Wars technology, so maybe you can just track a dog if you have its biological signature or something. But I feel like maybe they could do something to Baby Yoda so the tracking fobs can't find him anymore. I don't know. Deradiate him or alter his DNA or something. Who knows? I actually wanted Mandy to take off his helmet here and settle down with his sexy widow, eh? I would have loved for this show to turn from an action adventure into a dry, boring suburban drama. I would have watched that for 11 seasons. Oh my god, this scene had as much tension in it as Kylo Ren killing Han Solo. Baby Yoda in the crosshairs, no, don't do it! Don't kill the best thing in Star Wars since Luke Skywalker! Maybe even better, because Luke Skywalker didn't have so many memes. Don't do it! In conclusion, this episode was fine. It didn't have as many left turns as the other episodes. I mean, it was all fairly predictable. Once the premise was set up early on, you knew what was going to happen. But I mean, I enjoyed the AT-ST sequences. It was enjoyable. It just feels like a little filler episode. The first 3 episodes were kind of a beginning, a middle, and an end that told the story and set up the overall premise for this season, and then here we just get a little filler where we introduce a new character and we get some moments between Baby Yoda and Mandy, and it just tells a cool, like, Seven Samurais inspired story that was fine. I mean, what do you want from this show? It is what it is. It's fun. It's good. Alright, thank you for watching. It really help if you guys could like, subscribe, and in the comments tell me I got all the facts wrong and how my opinion is null and void. Thank you, and good night.